Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another edition of Whiskey and Hammock. I'm Eric.
And I'm Chris.
And I'm Brian Herring, Eastern Region brand and barrel ambassador for RD1 Bourbon.
Yeah, this is going to be a good time, man. We're going to have fun.
I'm sitting here with Brian, and we're going to go taste through, 4 different expressions?
Yeah, 4 different expressions today. Everything we do starts with our small batch. Right here, 70% corn, 21% rye, 9% malted barley. Very traditional Kentucky Straight Bourbon whiskey. Finished at 98.5 proof. One of the things that you will see throughout all 4 expressions here today is we do high proof and balanced flavors.
Okay.
And everything we do, again, starts with our small batch. This small batch mash bill is going to hold true throughout the other 3 expressions as well. So we're using that same small batch barrel to move into our secondary wood finishes. So
And then they're all the same mash bill.
they're all the same mash bill. It's actually coming from exactly the same small batch barrel.
Right. So
To
then you're
start.
just finishing it differently, right?
Exactly. So yeah, we'll nose that up.
Yeah.
You'll get all those, like I said, all those traditional, nice and light, vanilla wafers, some nuttiness, and just really, really clean.
Yeah, and again, what proof did you say it was?
This is 98.5. 98.5, right?
Smells hot.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It
exactly.
smells clean, though. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So one of the things you'll get consistent, again, across the entire portfolio here is that spice. So that 20, that 21% rye, a little higher rye mash bill, right?
Right.
Is going to have that cracked peppercorn, that spiciness on the back, and that's just going to linger
Yeah,
all
it
the
is
way
tingling
through
on
the
that
back.
tongue right now.
Yeah, 100%, 100%. You guys ready to move into the French oak?
Yeah, okay, well, what was this one finished in, the small batch?
So the small batch is just white American oak.
White American oak. So
100% traditional
so no,
small
not
batch.
finished in anything.
No secondary
Okay.
finish for the small batch.
Gotcha, no.
Okay, so that's our traditional
Yeah.
entry
Okay.
into everything. So our next entry is the French oak, where we take this wood necklace, lightly toasted French oak. It's about 10 feet long. And this is just going to get dropped right down into that aging small batch barrel.
Okay.
Everything that we have is at least 4.5 years old, by the way. At least 4.5 years old that's going into the batch process. It's evident the minute that we put it in a bottle, because as you guys can see, you take exactly the same mash bill,
for sure.
exactly the same process, age the same amount of time with the exception of, the French oak, a couple more months, 3 more months or so, something like that. And what you're going to find is that nice deep amber color,
like just-
versus the lighter side there, and then the mouthfeel explodes, the roundness. It becomes a completely different product.
Well, and like you said, and using this method makes it almost like easier to, instead of like dumping it out into another barrel, right?
Exactly,
And then
100%. Right.
And so how long average does the necklace stay in the barrel?
So I've been told it's basically 60 to 90 days. And again, being that small batch, that craft company, we've got a lot of tender loving care that goes in these
For
barrels.
sure. Yeah, right.
And then where we go next is a wild adventure.
Oh.
The flavor
Okay.
wheels are going to go absolutely insane in the world of secondary finished Kentucky Straight Bourbon whiskey.
Okay.
So we're going to jump into this Amberana as soon as I finish this French oak.
Yeah. I mean,
was
that's the
wondering
thing,
how
like, because Amberana is like, the Brazilian oak?
It's a Brazilian wood.
Brazilian wood.
So we're Brazilian wood, contracted, brought here to the States, and then we do our own milling, and then we have this really cool and patented process that we own. This is how we do things a little differently in the world of Amberana finishing. So we do this honeycomb drilling, right?
Gotcha.
So we take that Amberana wood, we honeycomb drill it. Typically, Amberana's a very porous wood.
Okay.
So it soaks in the liquid, and then what comes out of this wood is something completely unique and distinctive, and really, really, really hard to work with because it can be underdeveloped, it can be overdeveloped. It doesn't take very long for this piece of wood to influence an entire barrel. And when I tell you flavor, guys, jump into this one.
Have you ever had an Amberana Anything, Chris?
Oh yeah.
Have you?
Yeah. You know, I've had a few
Have I?
Ambrana. Yes. Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
Taste it,
Yep,
right?
Yep. So you're
That
gonna
nose is
you're
so
gonna
different.
jump right in there, and it's gonna be apple cinnamon that's gonna hit you right in the get. And,
Holy!
Yep.
I almost swore.
Boom. And again, like I was talking about earlier, this is going to take you back to a lot of different childhood memories of different flavors that you experienced as a kid. We get a lot of cinnamon red hot.
Oh, yeah.
That comes through. Cinnamon toast crunch.
Yeah.
That comes in.
It's like I put Apple Jacks on top of my toaster.
Apple
strudel.
Jacks, toaster. Yes, 100%.
Yeah. It's like what's the proof on this one?
So this is 110.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I can
so
feel
I
the
don't
proof.
drink like that at all.
Exactly.
Oh, I don't know.
Exactly.
Like I can feel the proof. Now. I can
Right.
feel the jump.
Yep.
But like you said, that heat kind of balances out that that.
It's funny because I got no heat. All I got was flavor.
I could taste the heat on that.
So we're going to round it out with our fourth entry, and if I haven't said it before, we feel like we've got something for everybody.
Okay.
We don't have everything that we have is not for everyone, right?
Right.
We like to think that we've got this really nice entry points, and again the traditional style Kentucky Straight Bourbon whiskey, and then the last two entries are, like I said, it's all about flavor and being distinctive and being unique. So this is our double oak and maple barrel finished at 99.9 proof. So just under 100.
Okay.
We found that was really the sweet spot and I say sweet spot because syrup, maple syrup, and it has a tendency to be too sweet for a lot of palates.
Yep.
But we needed to raise that proof so that you could offset the sweetness.
Right. Yes.
Exactly.
Be interesting.
I'm super interested about this one too. Yeah.
Yeah.
I can smell that. Yeah, you can smell the maple right off.
Right.
the
Right
rip.
off the rip.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's like those maple, chewy candies.
The maple candies.
Yeah, you know what I mean.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So this one we call the short stack of pancakes. Right. It's our campfire brunch. It's got a nice little smokiness to it.
It's perfect for a whiskey venture around the campfire.
Perfect.
Yeah,
Yes.
for sure.
It is absolutely perfect. It makes
Wow.
one of the best smoked old fashions.
Syrupy, even though you don't use
Right.
syrup at all.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
But I was a little
Yep.
nervous about how it would, but it's not. It's not
It's not.
at all.
Well, it's funny because it's almost like I can see how the smoke would because it has that almost like more of a ethanol feel to it. That I can see that where the smoke would totally work well and infuse
Yeah.
great with this
Yep.
with that bottle.
Yep.
Find out where you started from, and then how you see how those finishing stages make a
Yeah.
big difference. It's like you said, it's huge. Like in both these, like you said, if you see that
Yep.
that color, big difference.
Yeah, there's a very different flavor profile on all of them, but just from that to that, by adding this
Yes,
Yep.
was amazing.
the
Amazing.
whiskey necklace.
Yeah, the whiskey necklace. Yep.
Well,
Yeah.
Brian, I appreciate you coming
Yeah,
out.
absolutely.
Yeah. Huge thanks for you to coming out.
Yeah.
For
Yes.
you for
Thanks
coming
for having
out.
me.
Gigantic thanks for Corks and Barrels.
Yep.
Again in Fleming Island. Please come out and support them. This is a great place to come and hang out and
Have a
chill.
cocktail.
Yeah.
Have some whiskey.
Mhm.
Yes.
RD1.
That's all.
Already
that's,
won.
That's what we're
All right.
all about.
So
Cheers.
I'll leave it the motto. May the wind always fill your hammock, and may your glass never go dry.
Cheers, y'all.
Cheers.
That was good, man. You did a good job.
Is that good?
Yeah,
no, that's
perfect.
awesome.
It was awesome.
Cool.